Hello, this is Evangelist Dr. Robert L. McKim Sr. First off, I wanted to talk about real quick is that there are people out there that say that I should be making lots of money. Or, excuse me, a lot of money with my doctorate degrees if they are real and true doctorate degrees. Then I guess, if that's the case, every other minister on the face of the earth that has a doctorate degree, whether it's honorary or it's a earned degree, should be making a lot of money as well. And I mean a lot of money. Well, there are ministers that are making money, but they're making it the wrong way. Because they're always begging for money. Saying they need money for this and they need money for that. They need money for a jet airplane. And then they're constantly compromising their faith so they can continue getting that money. But see, when somebody like myself doesn't compromise their faith because I don't believe, and others like me don't believe that we should be asking for money all the time. And I don't ask for money. I have asked, but that's only because of the fact people expect me to ask. All I have ever really done is ask for help. Someone to come and help me do some work on my mobile home. Because I can't do it all by myself. And some of these people, they say, well, if I can't do it by myself, then I should sell out, move into an apartment complex. I've been there, done that. And let me tell you something. Not all apartment complexes keep up with their maintenance. And if you put in for an order for something to be repaired, they expect you to sign the paperwork to say that it's been repaired before they repair it. That's their way of saying, hey, look, we've done the work when they really didn't do the work. And the last apartment complex I lived in, he expected me to do work, to work on the apartment as well. Because he was a lazy man that didn't want to do anything except point his finger and blame the tenant for everything that went wrong. No, I'm not going to go there again. I'm not going to go there to have the blame put on me for when something doesn't work right. And I have lived in, well, put it this way. Where I live at, I just live a hop, skip, and a jump outside of the city limits. I'm technically in the county, but I'm still so close to the village. It's not a city, it's a village. Carrollton is considered a village. But Carrollton is still the county seat for Carroll County. The courthouse is here. Job and Family Services is here. So I don't live nowhere. I live close to a lot of things here in Carrollton. Live close to the drugstore. It's just right up the hill from me. I live close to the fairgrounds. But see, there are people who would rather live in a bigger, humongous city like Canton, Ohio, Bloomington, Indiana, you name it. A bigger city. Well, honestly, they really don't live in the city. They live on the outskirts of the city. Just like I do. I live on the outskirts of the village. I'm so close to it, really. I walk right down to when I walk down to check my mail, I'm in the city limits. Walk back up here to my house trailer, I'm outside of the city limits. So that's how close I am to the city limits. But they think that I have an unhealthy relationship with money because of the fact I'm on Social Security. I don't earn my own way in life like they think and they have been taught for so long that that's what you're supposed to do. I have earned my way in life for 26 years. But my back and my legs and my feet got the best of me. You know, I just can't understand why some people don't want to understand. Because for one thing, they're so wrapped up in their own mindset that if I'm not doing what they are doing, then I'm not doing the will of God. But actually, here's the will of God right here in 1 Timothy, starting with verse 6. Chapter 6, verse 7. Excuse me. Chapter 6, verse 7. And it says, and I quote, "For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some convert after they have erred from the faith and priced themselves through with many sorrows. Many sorrows." Long story short, that is an unhealthy relationship with money. When you put money first, when you put money as your God, when you say somebody has to make money if they have a degree, you are putting money first. You're putting money as your God. You're saying, well, the most important thing that you got to do in life is make money. No, it is not the most important thing in life. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and body. And love yourself. Love others as you love yourself. Those are the two most important things that you're supposed to be doing. And making disciples for Jesus Christ. Those are the three most important things. Two most important things is to keep the commandments. And to love Jesus Christ. Love one another. And to go out and make disciples. Now there are other doctrines that's coming along, such as with Paul's teachings, and of course, besides Jesus' teachings, and was Peter's teachings, and then Paul's teachings, and of course Timothy, and there's just been so much that put it this way. There are people out there that would rather just follow Paul and Paul's teachings than the teachings of Jesus Christ. And really, that's who we're supposed to be following, is Jesus Christ. Paul himself said he taught Jesus Christ. And we are not supposed to be following him. We're supposed to be following Jesus Christ. But yet there's people that would rather follow Paul's teachings and his teachings only, and still kind of, you know, believe in Jesus Christ's teachings, but don't want to follow Jesus Christ's teachings. Then there's people, of course, Revelation. You know, there's well, end time prophecy, because we're living in the end times, and that's what I've been preaching. And because I've been preaching end time prophecy, some people has called me names. They've said that end time prophecy is science fiction BS. And yeah, I'm supposed to apologize for them calling me names and saying all that stuff that they've been saying. I'm supposed to apologize. And let me get my computer here real quick. Sorry, I'm going to set my camera down here. I want to go here to some pictures. Like for the instance, this person had went and texted me this picture here yesterday, and they texted me this picture yesterday, and then let me go back here to this picture, and then they texted me this picture yesterday. Now the thing is, there again, let me set my camera back down here again, and move my computer. The thing is, excuse me, for my hand being in the way. The thing is, this person that texts me those messages, and other messages as well, because I basically fixed it on YouTube, that anything that they see my YouTube videos, I have to approve it. So instead of you know, going that route of saying things on my YouTube, knowing that it no longer will be on my YouTube, they just text me. Personally text me. Well, that is kind of a gray area with the law. It is kind of considered as stalking and harassment, and by using an electronic device. Now, I've talked to my attorneys. They say I can get a restraining order against them if I wanted to. Basically, that'd probably be the only way to get them to stop. Even though they said that they're gonna delete my phone number. Well, they're the ones texting me. I'm not texting them. They're texting me. I don't say nothing to them, except I preach on my YouTube videos, and then they get mad, and then they say something. I'm not going to stop and sugarcoat the gospel and preach what they want me to preach. No, I'm not doing it. Not happening. You don't like my preaching? Don't watch my videos. But you want to watch my videos so that you can harass me and then try to intimidate me. Well, you know what? You can try to intimidate me all you want. It's not going to work. I want to play something here, Jim Baker, before my battery dies on this camera. Had said the other day, last week.
Would you want me to read you something? I used to preach that you wouldn't go through any tribulation. Is that right? And then how many know, most preachers tell you that you'll never meet the Antichrist, right? Because he's not coming on the scene, right? Until after the rapture. You probably preach that yourself, right? Well, I don't know what you preach, but it's not important. Don't even tell me. Let me. The beginning of sorrows tells us the thing. Jesus said all these things have to take place. One of them, the man of sin, is going to be revealed before he comes back. That's what Matthew 24 says. Well, quickly, you need to order your food before it's too late. Because one day it's going to be too late. And the food is such an insurance policy. I mean, if Social Security dropped, how do you know your Social Security? How many here live on Social Security? Raise your hand. You're getting Social Security from a fund that basically has no money in it. Is that right?
Yes.
You got more faith in the government than you do in God, most of us. Is that right? How broke is America? We all know how broke America is if you watch our show. How broke is America? Do you know how broke America is?
What, 18 trillion or whatever it is?
If it sold everything on earth and you had the money, you couldn't pay the money that the United States of America owes.
Right.
So the crash, many believe the crash is coming in the next few months before Christmas. That the worst crash probably we've ever known. But the rabbi believes it's coming. He believes it could be just continuing on. Yes. That this will be the beginning of the world and America coming apart.
Yes, and you know, for example, the climax of the Shemitah year, which is in September 13th, and one also starts at sunset of September 13th. It starts the Jubilee year, which the Jubilee year is a type of Shemitah. People call it the Super Shemitah. Right. So some people are saying that we're going to have a complete economic crash.
War could come at that time, because that's what's happened in Israel.
The last business day is 9/11, if you remember. Even though the Shemitah is 9/13, the last business day is 9/11.
That's right.
And you forgot the blood moon, the final blood moon of the Tetrad.
That's also September 28th, and that won't happen again. A Tetrad, the four blood moons on holy days for another 400 years.
And it's the trumpets. The Feast of Trumpets is in this period of time at the same time.
Absolutely.
So
that's Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, so much is happening, people, all at once. And then when John Kilpatrick called us and said, Jim, it's more important what you're going to do in the next 90 days than your last 54 years.
Wow.
Well, what he said was...
What am I going to do?
He said your voice has to be clear. It has to be heard. You may have to speak loudly. You may have to yell for people to hear you and finally start doing something.
Satan is trying to shut down your voice.
Yes, and he has.
And I'll tell you what, I have people wanting me to come down and do business to make money for them or do crazy things, and I'm not going to do it. Here's what he wrote. It's a satanic attack, nothing more. Do not be distracted. Satan is trying to shut your voice. Critical time from July on. You must get the word out. That's what we're trying to do. The church people, most of them, have not prepared because they have been taught, and I used to teach it, you're going to be raptured out before anything bad happens. What will you say to your preacher if the world comes apart this fall or next year or whatever, and all the crashes there? What happens if we have an EMP bomb? What happens if America, the judgment of God comes upon America? You were talking about in the green room just before we went on about God's hand of protection. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Coming off our country. What do you call that?
We have a geomagnetic shield over the earth that protects us from harmful solar rays and flares. But whenever the solar winds are blowing a certain way, this geomagnetic protection is removed, and that's when we have the coronal mass ejections and the major solar flares that interrupt with our electronics, and it can affect our radio waves, it can affect our GPS systems and everything. We can lose a lot of electronics. That's what's just with the CME. With an EMP, of course, it's so much more drastic and disastrous than that. But what's happened, I believe it's already happened, the solar winds spiritually have blown over our nation, and we're having evil coming our way. In fact, one of the greatest judgments that come to any nation is when God removes his presence.
Yeah.
Look, when Samson, he didn't even realize that the blessing of God had left him. He got up, he thought he was just going to be able to burst those bands, but he wasn't able to do that because he said he didn't realize that the Spirit of God was not with him.
Yes.
Oh, God.
That's
So
right.
the greatest punishment from God is to remove his presence.
Chuck Missler said something so shocking on our show a few weeks ago. Do you remember what he said?
Yes, I do. He actually taught us that if we study the Word of God, that there are 6 different types of wrath, of God's wrath. And really the most terrifying type of wrath that he has, and he believes that we could possibly have just entered into that period of this type of wrath in America, and it's his abandonment wrath.
Right.
Where the Spirit of God leaves.
Wow.
He abandons.
Alright, I'm going to stop right there, and I wanted to also bring up, before my battery completely dies here on me, is that in Daniel 7, hang on a second, let me see if I can get my computer before my battery dies on me. And bring it up here real quick. Daniel 7 is coming up when my battery's about ready to die. Daniel 7 verses 21 and 22. I was watching, and the same horn was making war against the saints. Now this is the wrath that really Jesus was talking about that's coming against the saints. Satan's wrath, not God's wrath, Satan's wrath. God's wrath is he takes his hand of protection away from us to allow Satan's wrath. And it's prevailing against them, or basically, this message I had one day that I preached about, the gates of hell is prevailing against the church. And Daniel says it right here, that Satan, the horn, that same horn is making war against the saints, prevailing against them until the Ancient of Days come, until Jesus Christ comes in the clouds, and judgment was made in favor of the saints for the Most High, and the time came for the saints to possess the kingdom. That's when Jesus Christ comes back in the clouds and takes us away. But first, Satan, the little horn, or the one of the horns anyhow, without reading more into it, one of the horns makes war against the saints, which is Satan. I mean Satan, or put it this way, the Antichrist spirit makes war against the saints. And that is what is happening right now in the United States of America and the rest of the world. The Antichrist spirit, the atheists,